What's happening, everybody? It's Sean with Reactions to the Classics, and today we have part 2 of The River by the great Bruce Springsteen, brought to us by a friend, patron, and longtime supporter of the channel, Rich. Always appreciate you, Rich. If you haven't seen part 1, it's at a link below. Go watch that one first. A great first disc. We're going to move on to the second half of this album, the second disc, so to speak. I'm not going to give you all the quick facts again. Those are in part 1, but I will tell you it was his 5th studio album. Came out in October of 1980. His first #1 album, and was nominated for Best Rock Vocal Performance. Produced by Bruce, his manager John Landau, and Little Stevie. It was originally going to be a single album. He turned it in, then he took it back and said, no, I got a lot more stuff I want to say. So that's going to kind of bring us in a real summary to where we are now. And before we start out part 2 with, as you see below, Point Blank, just a reminder, the music will not be in this video. There's a Vimeo link below. Follow along with the whole thing there. I'll have the lyrics up as always. Let's get to Point Blank. Written in 1978, was the first song he wrote after completing the previous album, which is fantastic. We have a reaction of it up, Darkness on the Edge of Town. This song deals with the disappointment of working class family life. It's one of several songs on the album dealing with the conflict between dreams and reality that most of us fight in our life at different times. The singer dreams he's still with his former girlfriend. They're dancing together, but waking up he realizes he saw the girlfriend standing in the doorway trying to stay out of the rain, looking like, quote, just another stranger waiting to get blown away. The ex-girlfriend is the subject of the song's narrative. She grew up fast, but rather than getting the life she wanted, she ended up on welfare. Bruce said that one of the themes of the song is the fact that if you ease up as you get older, you effectively cease to exist. When introducing the song at a 1981 concert, he said, "A song ain't no good until somebody hears it. By yourself, you can't have an effect. You have to reach out. This is a song about someone who loses that power, which is the most powerful thing in the world, your ability to affect your friends' lives and my life, and maybe I can do something for you." Great introduction. Let's check it out. Point Blank, totally different musically and stylistically than anything we've experienced so far on part 1 of this album. Wow. A really, really good song, man. I mean, just fantastically done. Instrumentation, low-key. Roy's piano is great. And he starts out just talking to this girl. I mean, that's what it's about. The girl that he used to be with. You still say your prayers, little darling? Do you go to bed at night praying that tomorrow everything will be all right? But tomorrow's fallen number, in number 1 by 1. You wake up and you're dying. You don't even know what from. So yes, as that time passes, and then the whole, well, they shot you point blank. You've been shot you've been shot in the back, baby, point blank. You've been fooled this time, little girl. That's a fact. Right between the eyes, baby, point blank. Right between the pretty lies that they tell. Little girl, you fell. And then saying she grew up in a place where girls grew up fast, and you didn't have to live that life. I was going to be your Romeo, you were going to be my Juliet. These days you don't wait on Romeos, you wait on those welfare checks and all the pretty little things that you can never have, and all the promises. And then the whole point blank, talking about dreaming they were together, remembering when they were together out on the dance floor, and all these other things. And then he saw her and called out to her, and she turned and wanted to get blown away, like I mentioned in the start. So I mean, just a great journey of a song, 6 minutes long, but doesn't feel like it. Now we're going to move on to Cadillac Ranch. According to music critic Dave Marsh, it, quote, made dinosaurs dance. And he said it is, quote, one of the smartest songs ever about the inevitability of death. The song's title comes from the Cadillac Ranch in Amarillo, Texas, a place I have been by many, many times in my life. Cadillac Ranch is a sculpture showing 10 Cadillac automobiles with their hoods buried in the ground. Springsteen used Cadillac Ranch as a metaphor for his theme that these once elite cars are now expendable. Cadillac Ranch, and just like I said in the beginning, it basically just talks about, likens us to the Cadillac Ranch that we're breaking down. I can, verse 3 gives a shout out to James Dean in that Mercury 49. We'll shout out to Rebel Without a Cause. Junior Johnson running through the woods of Caroline. Junior Johnson's a famous NASCAR driver. Even Burt Reynolds in that black Trans Am. Shout out to Smokey and the Bandit. All going to meet down at the Cadillac Ranch. And then verse 4 takes quite the turn that busts into chorus number 2 here. Hey, little girl in the blue jeans so tight, driving alone through the Wisconsin night. You're my last love, baby. You're my last chance. Don't let him take me to the Cadillac Ranch. And then it finishes out, Cadillac, Cadillac, long and dark, shiny and black, pulled up to my house today, came and took my little girl away. So didn't see that. His girl ends up dying. That black Cadillac is taking her to her final resting place. A little rockabilly here. Just a fun, infectious song. Now we go to I'm a Rocker. I'm a Rocker, just one of those fun little tunes on here. Great piano work by Roy. Just everybody is having a good time. Even on the chorus, they're singing, I'm a rocker, baby, I'm a rocker. And then Bruce does the little callback part. You know, we've got a little shout out, Columbo split, and you can't find Kojak, Boys and Girls in 2021. You might not know what that means, but there were 70s cops, popular TV shows. And in the first chorus, now don't you call James Bond or secret agent man. And so he's just going on. He's a rocker, man. He says, now, I don't care what kind of shape you're in. If they put up a roadblock, I'll parachute in because I'm a rocker, baby. I'm a rocker. Just a fun little tune there. Now we're going to go to Fade Away. It was the second single, top 20 in the U.S. and Canada. However, a lot of people questioned the judgment of putting this song as a second single, and a lot of people blamed it for slowing down the album sales for a while there. Stevie Van Zandt proclaimed it as one of his favorite Bruce songs, but he says that he thinks they don't play it in concert very much because it's too slow. Let's check it out. Bruce doesn't want to fade away as he fades away into the next track. I can see why some people question this. I like it. I actually think it's really good, but I can see why people question because I think it was kind of the thing back then, right? In the 80s, we'd have a rocker and then you want to show the other side of the artist, so we get slowed down to show you can do both sides. And it's basically the story of this girl's leaving him, right? She found another man that could do what he couldn't do, and he's begging her. And she tells him, no matter what, it's over. I've been in a few of those relationships way back when. And of course, I don't want to fade away. Oh, I don't want to fade away. Tell me, what can I do? What can I say? Because, darling, I don't want to fade away. Verse 2 is nice. Well, now that you say you made up your mind, it's been such a long, long time since it's been good with us. And that somewhere back along the line, you lost your love and I lost your trust. Man. And it's not going to turn out well for Bruce here. She never does come back to him, but he keeps begging. Nice keyboard work here really adds the softness to this, but still punches it up a little bit. Nice choruses in here with the backing vocals, so I did enjoy it. Now we're going to go to the final song on disc 3, right, the third disc of the vinyl. Stolen Car was written quickly and recorded the day after Hungry Heart. Music critic Quentin Highland has suggested it may have begun as a continuation of that song, as Stolen Car originally used similar language to explain the marriage failure. In the original song, we got married and promised never to part. Then I feel a victim to a hungry heart. Stolen Car, along with a few other songs on the river, including the title track and Wreck on the Highway, which we haven't got to yet, mark a new direction in his songwriting. These ballads with a sense of hopelessness foreshadows his next album, Nebraska. Like the river, Stolen Car is an inner-directed psychological song that deals with a failing marriage. The protagonist of Stolen Car is driven by his loneliness to car theft, hoping to get caught, but fearing to just disappear. Essentially, he wants to get arrested just to prove he exists. Springsteen's noted that Stolen Car is one of the songs reflecting a shift in his songwriting style, linking the river to Nebraska. He noted that the protagonist felt disconnected and felt that he was fading away, disappearing, felt invisible, just like Bruce himself felt invisible while he was growing up. He was also stated that the protagonist was a character whose progress he would be following on the Tunnel of Love album, which comes out in '87. You've got Nebraska next, then Born in the USA. Then we get to Tunnel of Love. And then he served as the archetype for the male role in future songs Bruce wrote about men and women. He would also develop themes from Stolen Car on future other songs, including State Trooper and Highway Patrolman from Nebraska, and Downbound Train, which is a really good song, from his '84 album Born in the USA. Stolen Car, what a wonderful song, man. What a wonderful song. And so well done, right? There are so much diversity on this album and the sequencing of like these songs that are fun and upbeat to these songs that just slow it down. And this one really, just hit you, man, because it's just talking about the story of he meets this girl, they settle down, we swore we'd never part, then little by little we drifted from each other's hearts. Which is usually how it happens when people grow apart. It's little by little. It's not one thing. You ask somebody who's been together forever and they get divorced, what was it? And it's like, it's not even one thing. It's just little by little. At first, I thought it was his restlessness. So Bruce could feel it, but he's like, you know what, man? The closer we get, that would fade as time went by and our love grew deep. So we're just going to get closer and closer. This is just a bump in the road. In the end, it was something more, I guess, that tore us apart and made us weep. So neither one of them wanted it. Then he goes to the driving a car, stolen car, down on Eldridge Avenue. Each night I wait to get caught, but I never do. Then she asks him if she remembers the letters that I wrote when our love was young and bold. She said last night she read those letters and they made her feel 100 years old. So she's going back in the relationship, reading his letters, going, man, it seems so far away. What happened? And he says, I'm driving a stolen car on a pitch black night, and I'm telling myself I'm going to be all right. But I ride by night and I travel in fear that in this darkness I will disappear. So he doesn't travel in fear he's going to get arrested. He travels in fear that he's going to be inconsequential because he's failed in life, kind of is the way he looks at it. Great song. Now we're going to move to side 4, the final side. We're going to go to Ramrod. It was written and originally recorded in September of 1977 for Darkness on the Edge of Town. It's decided not to be used there. They re-recorded it for this album. Ramrod, I can see why this would have been on Darkness because of the car theme. I'm glad they didn't put it on there. This is the first one for me. It's a little forgettable. I mean, it's fine. He's using the car race also with his love for the girl, and they can go ramrodding for the rest of their lives. If she just says the word, they can go to the chapel. It's fine. It's got a nice organ from Danny Federici in here. Not a bad song at all, but just for me, kind of the first one that I could kind of take it or leave it. That's going to move us to The Price You Pay. The Price You Pay, just a really well done song. Just talking about, the things we do in life, the decisions we make, we got to be willing to pay the price. There's a price we're going to pay. In the chorus of The Price You Pay, or the price you pay, now you can't walk away from the price you pay. Verse 3, little biblical allusions from that little girl down on the strand with that pretty little baby in your hands. Do you remember the story of the promised land? How he crossed the desert sands, talking about Moses, and could not enter the chosen land. On the banks of the river he stayed to face the price you pay. So that was a good one. Really enjoyed it. I thought everything fit perfectly. The lyrics, the vocal delivery, and the instrumentation. Now we're going to go to Drive All Night, the next to the last song on here. On this one, you're actually going to have Roy slide over to the organ, and Bruce is going to play the piano on this one. Longest track on this album, one of Bruce's longest tracks, period. Drive All Night, almost 8.5 minutes long, but doesn't seem like it. I really like this song because it shows Bruce's diversity, right? He's really sounding good on the vocals, and as the song starts to come to a close, you can tell his voice is strained just from putting so much emotion into it. All the instrumentation, I'm a broken record, no pun intended on this, but the instrumentation is just right on this song. Clarence has a nice solo on there, but everything, the piano is great that Bruce is playing. The organ's understated early on, but it's done nicely. And, it's When I Lost You, Honey. Sometimes I think I lost my guts too. And I wish God would send me a word, send me something I'm afraid to lose. Lying in the heat of the night like prisoners all our lives. I get shivers down my spine, girl, and all I want to do is hold you tight. In that first chorus, baby, 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 I swear I'd drive all night, again, just to buy you some shoes and to taste your tender charms, and I just want to sleep tonight, again, in your arms. And then he's writing to her, that he wants to come back to her. And then verse 3, there's just things waiting for him that can hurt us, but because you've got my love, girl, you've got my love, through the wind, through the rain, through the snow, the wind, the rain. And that becomes this motif, heart and soul. Don't worry, darling, don't cry, baby, don't cry now. Baby, I'll drive all night. And then he drives through all those things again. But a slow unfolding vocal, which works perfect for this song. I can't imagine it being a 4-minute song. It works really well as an 8. It'd probably be perfect as a 6-minute song, but still really, really well done. And we are to the last track on this album. We have Wreck on the Highway. It's not only the last track on the album, but it's also the last one recorded for the album. It's structured as a folk ballad with 4 verses of 5 lines each. The lyrics describe a man who witnesses a hit-and-run auto accident on a rainy, isolated highway and is subsequently haunted by the vision and unable to sleep. After the first 3 verses focus on the specific incidents, the last verse broadens them to encompass more universal themes of life and death. The singer thinks about the life that was lost and the people who may have loved him, and he knows he will be haunted by the incident for the rest of his life. Bruce has explained the theme by stating that after seeing the accident, the singer, quote, realizes you have a limited number of opportunities to love someone, to do your work, or to be part of something, to parent your children, or to do something good. It's directly inspired by Roy Acuff's great country song of the same name and similar theme from the 1940s, which that was a cover of a 1938 recorded song, I Didn't Hear Nobody Pray, by the Dixon Brothers. Let's finish this epic album out. Wrecked on the Highway, a nice bridge song here. And a bridge, in other words, it still has the car motif. He's driving, so I could see it on Darkness. But then it also fits into the Nebraska sort of soundscape and content matter. But, as I said at the start, it's written in a folk style, so there's no chorus or anything like that. It just tells the story of, he comes up, he's out there by himself coming home at the end of a long work day, and he comes across this vehicle and he gets out, and there's blood and glass all over. He's the only one out there. You picture this desolate road. It's so well written. And he's seen a young man lying by the side of the road. He cried, "Mister, won't you help me, please?" Then an ambulance came and took him. As he watched it drove away, Bruce thought of a girlfriend or young wife and a state trooper knocking in the middle of the night to see her baby died in a wreck on the highway. And then verse 4, where it comes back to him. Sometimes I sit up in the darkness and I watch my baby as she sleeps. Then I climb in bed and I hold her tight. I would just lay there awake in the middle of the night thinking about the wreck on the highway, because whenever we're dealt with something in life like this, where you see something horrible like this, or where someone close to you dies, it briefly takes you into understanding how short life is and how we got to enjoy every moment. And then as time passes, we get to the busyness of day-to-day life, and a lot of us forget to enjoy that again. But just a really well-written song. Interesting to end this one off with this, but I liked it. And now we're to the part of my favorite tracks. Look, there's 20 songs on here, and I liked a bunch of them, so I was keeping track of them as we went on. It's tough on first listen. Honorable mentions, I got Out in the Street, Cadillac Ranch, The Price You Pay, Drove All Night, and this last one, Wreck on the Highway. My favorites, Independence Day, what a fantastic song. Hungry Heart, of course. I Want to Marry You, The River, of course, and Stolen Car. So, wow. This is really my first, I listened to this once casually, right? This is really my first listen to this. It's different on a first listen when you're looking at the lyrics and you're just immersed in it through headphones. Just a fantastic offering. My grade is going to be an 8.5 on first listen. Look, there's 20 songs, so it's tough to grade the overall because there's some of the songs that aren't nearly as strong as the others, but the highs are very high. The lows, there's very few of. Most of the songs are really good. Some of them are great. So, Rich, thank you for letting me tackle this thing. Guys, thank you for taking this journey. I know it's a 2-part long journey, but I hope you feel it was well worth it. Check out some of the other Bruce stuff we have up on the channel. We got a bunch of it. And until next time, guys, I will see you.